Welcome to the Bourbon Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Bradley Jr., and this is the seventh pour. Guys, I want to thank you again for the continued support from all of you all. You have continued to subscribe, follow, share, and just put the show, the content, the brand out there of the Bourbon Husband. So I cannot thank you guys enough. Well, today's episode is going to be very unique. It's going to be a little bit shorter, but we went on our first ever bourbon hunt on the Bourbon Husband Podcast. Myself, Chris Bivens, and Kevin Shrewsbury, all three, headed up to the Lewisburg and Greenbrier area of West Virginia, and we came away with some awesome bottles of bourbon. We had a really good haul. I believe between the three of us, we were around 22 or 23 bottles in total. And not going to lie, I came away with 10 of them myself. So I had the bulk of the haul, but we were trying to decide which kind of bourbon hunt it was going to be. Was it going to be just that rare find that you can't get anywhere and you're going to pay up? Or was it going to be a bourbon hunt where we find rare bottles that we can't get here back home, that we don't see, but you know that's out there, and it's not that cost. The cost ain't so high, and you can come away with a haul instead of 1 to 3 bottles. So that's what we did. We did a bourbon haul hunt, still found some rare bottles, some amazing bottles that we just don't get here back home. And, you know, whether or not I go over every bottle tonight or not, you're going to definitely see in the clips, we filmed behind the scene footage of the bourbon hunt for the entire trip. So that's going to be here on this podcast after I have a toast. So I thought it was fitting because we did go to the Smooth Ambler distillery, and I thought it was fitting to have the seventh pour be one of their products, one of their bottles. We did come away with some Smooth Ambler products on our hunt as well from the distillery. However, myself and Chris did find the first ever batch, which was aged for 6 years, of the Cask straight bourbon whiskey. The 6 years, first ever batch was 2022 is when they come out, and I don't know if it's got the proof on here or not, but it is Cask strength, so you know what you're getting into. It was aged 6 years. But for today, we're going to be opening the Founder's 8-year Cask strength, and we did a tasting. The three of us did, and as you could see, this is batch 6, aged 8 years. Cask strength series from Founders, straight bourbon whiskey from the Smooth Ambler distillery. We did a tasting, so I picked up a lot more products from Smooth Ambler. There you could see the single barrel old Scout. That's a single barrel rye. I also picked up another rye as well. This is just a Cask strength straight rye, aged 7 years. To me, I was a little bit torn between this and the Old Scout on the rye. We'll break it down on another episode and do a tasting between the two of them. But real quick, I'm going to show you this. I'm not going to go over every bottle that we got, but this is really cool. The first time I had Chris on the show, we did the Knob Creek single barrel, and this one we found was a Knob Creek Cask strength. So that's something that we really were surprised to find up on our bourbon hunt. This one's 127 proof. The single barrel that we had here on the show, I believe, was 120 or 121. Have to go back, watch it, and check. But yep, that's what I was able to find, and I found a lot more bottles as well. We'll get into that another time. But so when I was debating what to have, I decided, well, we should do the Founder's Cask strength straight bourbon, and we're going to do batch number 6. It was aged 8 years. So while I do that, guys, again, I cannot thank y'all enough for the continued support that you have shown over the last few months on the show. We're getting a lot more engagement. So this past Whiskey Wednesday toast, was very successful. We had a lot of engagement, a lot of people come on to the show. So I want to thank you guys for joining me the other night. It was a little bit different. It was fun. I displayed my costume. I was Alan Jackson on there, and it was an absolute blast. But here we go. I'm going to crack open this cask strength. As I mentioned, myself, Kevin, and Chris all did a tasting, and I was tempted to get both the 8 year and 9 year of this lineup. However, um, during my tasting, and I've got notes, and I'll display those notes there in the end. The 8 years, to me, I was getting more out of it than the 9 year. Kevin felt the same way. Chris did not. I believe Chris might have already had this though, so he was swayed to go ahead and move the trigger on the 9 year. So here we go. That was a solid pop. I don't know if y'all heard that or not, but that was a very, very solid pop. So let's have a good little pour here. Hopefully y'all seen that. If not, I do apologize. I am standing in front of the bar this evening. Just got home from work. It was a pretty successful day. We're getting prepared for a lot of events at the dealership. So look at that color, man. Like I said, this is a cask strength straight bourbon. Um, the I don't have the proof on it, but it's been aged for 8 years. This is batch number 6. So yeah, I was just getting more out of this than I was the 9 year when we went to the tasting. I was getting a lot more flavor profiles out of this, and it was just giving me more overall. So yeah, initial sweetness, like opens up strong vanilla on the nose, leans into more of a citrusy feel to it, and you definitely get a little bit of heat there. You for sure get some heat notes, almost like a white pepper, black pepper, light hint of cinnamon on the nose, but not strong. The color is really, really good. It's not too light. You see, it's got that dark caramel tone to it. So let's try it. Yeah, that's really good. I don't know if y'all can see, but look at the body and legs on this pour. I mean, it's very consistent throughout the glass. That's a good pour. Um, on the palate, initial that sweetness I'm getting on the nose, it hits initially, but then goes into a strong heat. Um, get a lot more cinnamon on the palate, and then it blends a little bit more back into a sweetness, almost like a butterscotch, almost like butterscotch ice cream. If y'all ever had that, almost like a peach flavor to it. And then on the finish, though, it's got a good, long, lingering finish. It gets more to your traditional cask strength bourbon notes, charred oak, a little bit of cinnamon on the finish as well. And definitely get, again, charred oak, some peppery. It's just got that good heat that you want out of a bourbon, especially a cask strength. Yeah, I mean, overall, I think I took this 8 year cask strength and rated it. I'd have to go back, but it's opened up. You, man, that's really good. just traditional bourbon flavors and notes all over the place. It's complex in a good way. It's really consistent in the sweetness it brings up front, but then a strong heat. Not too much heat, but you can definitely tell this is a cask strength, straight bourbon for sure. So yeah, that is the Founders series from Smooth Ambler Cask Strength series, aged 8 years. Um, Bourbon Mash Bill number 2, batch number 6. So that's their second mash bill. Um, and you can see distilled in the great state of West Baghdad, Virginia. So yeah, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the hidden footage we have, or not hidden, but behind the scenes footage we have of the bourbon hunt. It was an absolute blast. We started off with a really great breakfast at our local diner, Dolly's Diner, and then we went up, visited a bunch of stores, and came away with some really good bottles. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, so the batch number 1, the 6 year of this Cask Strength Founder Series, we did not get at the distillery. Chris and I found that at one of the stores, and we jumped on it because we knew we probably would never see the first batch again. So we jumped on that. That was their first batch of the Cask Strength series. So we jumped all over that. But yeah, overall, I believe I came away with 10 bottles in total. It was a really, really, really good hunt. I was really, really happy with what we came away with. Had a great time at the distillery. You're going to see some of that on here as well. And yeah, guys, I mean, thank you again for your support. Continue to join me every week for Whiskey Wednesday Toast. It was a blast. We're going to start doing more lives on our Whiskey Wednesday Toast. We're going to continue to put the podcast out there. Again, this is the seventh pour. This is the first ever bourbon hunt on the Bourbon Husband podcast. We will do more hunts. Don't forget, I know I mentioned on the last episode, a new logo, official logo is coming out soon. Then after that, we're going to roll merchandise out, some apparel, maybe some bourbon hardware. Okay, we're talking about doing that. So my wife's been a huge part of making sure we get this show to that next level. So I'm seeing a lot more engagement, guys. Continue to share the show. Continue to subscribe. Get your friends to follow on Facebook and YouTube. Continue to watch the reels. Just share and put it out there. We want this thing to get to that next level. And like I said, part of the reason we did this show is because we want to reach out and, bring out more bourbon lovers out there and more connoisseurs of the American spirit. And as I found out the other night on our first ever live Whiskey Wednesday Toast, I found one or two people that I didn't know drink bourbon and did not know they were into it. And then I found that out. It's some people I've known and worked with. So that's a part of the reason we got the show, man. And I was really happy to see that. So we're going to continue to put content out there. We're going to continue to put the podcast, and we're going to build this brand. We're going to get it out there. So thank you guys. Continue to share and push the show to the next level. But I hope you guys enjoy the first ever bourbon hunt on the Bourbon Husband podcast. Enjoy the behind the scenes footage and some pictures I'm going to post and some notes, some really cool behind the scenes. However, again, this is the Founders Cask Strength batch 6, aged 8 year, mash bill number 2, distilled in the great state of West Baghdad, Virginia. And I got to be honest, y'all know 2.5 barrels is average. I'm going to rate this right, it's going to be above average. Local distillery, show them some love. I'm going to put this at a 2.9 to 3.1. Let's go ahead and call it 3.0. So there we go. Guys, enjoy the bourbon hunt on the Bourbon Husband podcast. It's been a blast. And until next time, cheers. Hey everyone, this is Daniel Bradley Jr. from the Bourbon Husband Podcast. I'm here with my boy Kevin Shrewsbury. We're going to be meeting Chris this morning for breakfast, and we are going on our first ever bourbon hunt. That's right. We're going to be going to a distillery. We're going to be going to 6 or 7 different bourbon and liquor stores throughout West Virginia. We're really excited. We're going to kick this off with a really good breakfast down at Dolly's. So, guys, stay tuned. It's going to be a great day. Hopefully, we can find some rare bottles, some bottles we've never seen before. We're going to see what's in store. I can't wait. Kevin, you excited?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get after it, guys. Stay tuned. All right, we have officially gotten with Chris. Chris, you ready? Our first ever bourbon hunt, bro.
Yes. Much needed day off.
Yep, absolutely. Cannot wait to see what we have in store, what kind of bottles we're going to find. Of course, we're visiting the distillery, Smooth Ambler. We're going to be eating some good food as well. We're on the way to Dolly's right now for a quick and good breakfast, and we're going to hit the road and see what kind of bourbon we can find, people. Okay, we are here at our first stop. It is CJ's Tobacco and Liquor. We're going to be seeing what we could find. Chris, you've heard a lot about this place. I know we've had some co-workers come up here and stuff. So let's take a look here, guys. CJ's Tobacco and Liquor. Let's go in here, see what we could find. Okay, so our first stop at the first CJ's Tobacco and Liquor. Chris and I ended up walking out with the same bottle. The Founders Cask Strength Series from Smooth Ambler. This is the first batch, 2022.
Batch number 1, 2022. I've got one that I picked up earlier this summer at the distillery. Not sure which batch it was, but it was aged 9 years. This one's aged 6. But when you see batch number 1, distilled in West Virginia at Smooth Ambler, had to pick up batch number 1.
Batch number 1. So we're going to go over to the next CJ's Tobacco and Liquor, see what we can find, and stay tuned. Okay, we're here at the second CJ's Tobacco and Liquor. There's actually 3 we didn't know. I don't know if we're going to go third one or not, but let's go in here, see what we can find. So we just left the second CJ's Tobacco and Liquor. Picked up a couple bottles of 1792 single barrel private select. Also, I picked up a Yellowstone store pick as well. So we're going to the third of the CJ's Tobacco and Liquor right now. And then after that, we're heading up north towards the distillery and some more stores. But stay tuned. We're going to keep you guys in the loop. Let's see what we can find. Okay, we are at the third and final CJ's Tobacco and Liquor. Guys, we're going to go in here, see what we can find. This is our last stop before we go up north some more. So let's see what we can find. It's been a really good find up to this point. Hopefully we find something rare that we could get our hands on.
I was afraid to buy anything in there.
So that was the third CJ's Tobacco and Liquor. We really didn't find anything, boys, that stood out. Everything was pretty much priced the same as the other 2 stores, same selection. Nearly pulled the trigger on a bottled and bond 1792 store pick. So who knows, if we're on the way back down, we may do that. Also seen a Penelope Project X bottle. That's in the back of my mind, maybe for later, but let's go see what else we can find. Okay, for our fourth stop, we are here at a Parmar store, a gas station. They got liquor and stuff, so we're going to go in here, see what we can find. So we just came out of the Parmar store. They had some actually pretty decent selection.
Overpriced.
But overpriced, dude. I walked in there, $40-some for a Buffalo Trace that I could buy $28 back home for sure.
$90 for Old Forester
1920. What we paid 65, 75,
about 60
back home.
Catch it on sale.
Yeah, exactly. So had a good selection to be a little gas station, but way overpriced, and that's sometimes what you're going to run into when you run into these liquor and bourbon selections at a gas station. So yep, keeping our eyes peeled. We're going to continue going the hunt here. Keep you guys tuned. what's this called, boys? Louise Liquor Store. This looks like it's going to be pretty promising. This is our second stop up here in White Sulphur Springs. So we're going to see what is in store for us up here. Don't know what Chris is looking at, but we're going to take a look, see what we can find, and keep you guys tuned. So we just walked out of Louis Liquor Store, got an absolute steal. We found the Let's Go series from Distilled Dog, the West Virginia Let's Go label. What, $65? Yeah.
63.
63. We found it somewhere else for 75 and 89. So we got a steal there. I came across, so recently, Chris and I done an episode on the Knob Creek single barrel. Walk in there, which was what, 120 proof when we done ours?
Single barrel select from Virginia ABC.
So we found a store pick in there that was a cask strength, that 127 proof, Knob Creek, aged right at 10 years. So I'm really excited to try that. That was a find that I don't think I would have found back home for sure. We got a still in the Let's Go, and yeah, excited to. I think we got a couple more stops before the distillery, and let's get after it, guys. We're finding some good bottles. So far, I would say that's been the best store we've been to. Found the best bottles, best pricing, for sure. So, yep, let's keep this show on the road.
What would y'all do?
Okay, now we are at Spirits and Wine here in Lewisburg, West Virginia. We're going to go in here and see what they had. So far, I think the store of the day has been Louis. We got this one and one more stop before the distillery down at Smooth Ambler. So let's go in here, see what they have to offer. Over here is Spirits and Wine in Lewisburg. Talk to you soon. Okay, that was Spirits and Wine here in Lewisburg. Had a really strong selection, I would say. Great pricing, but didn't find anything that I haven't found elsewhere, so we didn't pick anything up there. Nearly decided to pull the trigger on the Bardstown series, the Origin series, and just didn't do it. You know, the pricing was right. They had great bottles in there. The only thing is, I just didn't find anything that we haven't found somewhere else. So on to the Loft, I believe is what it's called, correct?
What was it?
The Loft is where we're going. The Loft.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, stay tuned. Okay, we are here at the final stop, the final liquor store called Loft Liquor. So let's go in here, guys. Hopefully we find something. Okay, just got finished up with the Loft. Came out with the Heaven Hill rye and then the bottled and bond. Wanted to load up on the grain to glass series, so that was important to me. Trying to see what all I got here. Let me see. Kevin got it too. I think yep, everything's the same on his. And then I got the Heaven Hill bottled and bond. It's not allocated anymore, but I haven't been able to find it back at home, so found it for $50 there. So I took the bullet on that. So far this has been a win, man. I came away with the first batch of the cask strength Founder series from Smooth Ambler, the Let's Go series for $65, and that was the cheapest we found it anywhere, so that was a steal. The 1792 single barrel store select, the Heaven Hill bottled de bond, Heaven Hill grain to glass rye. I got the Knob Creek cask strength, and I believe I got one more here, the Yellowstone. Yep, the Yellowstone hand-picked collection. So, yep, there we go. I think I came away with 7 bottles at the stores, 7 bottles that we really couldn't find back home. Wasn't easy to get, so there we go. We're down here at, what's this called?
Hill and Holler.
Hill and Holler. getting some pizza, having a nice little walker here. Bourbon hunt was pretty successful, boys.
Yep.
Next up's the distillery. That's the last stop, Smooth Ambler. So it's a pretty nice area here. They got some good bourbon on that shelf over there too.
Yeah,
I was looking at it. So, yep, guys, this has been an awesome trip. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you guys some of the tasting and what we do at the gift shop and at the distillery. So, yeah, thank you. So we are here at the Smooth Ambler Distillery. Right now we're in the tasting room and gift shop here with my boy Chris and Kevin. We're going to be doing some tastings. Of course, we're going to be making some purchases as well. Really excited. Going to get some gear as well. So, yep, we're here at the distillery now. Stay tuned. Well, we just finished our tasting down here at the Smooth Ambler Distillery. We hit the gift shop up. Of course, you see the new hat here. Chris, we had some new bourbons they released.
Yeah.
One that was actually for a special event.
Right.
That's not going to be released to the public. That was a really solid bourbon. Reminded me a little bit of the Elijah Craig barrel proofs. But man, this has been a great trip. We've came across some really awesome bottles. We loaded up, dude.
Yeah.
I think we got a total, before we came here, 13 total back there. So each of us got 3 or 4, right?
That's
16, 19. I think we're at about 19, 20 bottles in total that we
13 plus 9, 22.
22 bottles.
22.
Yep, 22 bottles that we loaded up with. So we're headed back home. This bourbon hunt is done. This has been the first ever bourbon hunt here on the Bourbon Husband podcast. So thank you guys for coming on the journey with us. We're going to do more of these. I'd like to do this every 3 or 4, maybe 6 months, something like that. Visit some other distilleries out there. But guys, thank you again so much for the support. This has been very, very awesome. And I'm looking forward to opening these bottles with you guys on the Bourbon Husband podcast. Until next time.
Deciding, baby, I don't wanna die, but if I die tonight, bury me with bourbon next to a moonshine still. Cause I heard and I bet that I always will. For the dirts and don't forget a bottle of the beam. Cause everything I did was for her, not me. Bury me with bourbon next to a moonshine still. I'm hurting now and I always will. Bury me with bourbon, don't forget a bottle of the beam. Cause everything I was for her, not me. Bury me with bourbon, it might get you out of my head. It might finally help give me some fucking rest.